nice enough to do something, to participate, to help, and to support them. Over there in the corner, I have a book. You can just leave your email address, and then whatever needs to be done, you'll be contacted. But you know, you can start with yourself. You can start by not thinking that the next young black person you see on TV that they're saying is a suspect is the person who committed the crime. You can start with yourself, because that's all it's really about. The paintings, like I said, are to raise awareness. I've painted their portraits from back in the day. I want to paint them now. That's going to be the next phase of this work. Yusef mentioned last week when we were just talking about my work, it's like I noticed that all your, well, at the time, I'd only done 3 of them as of last Saturday. 2 paintings got knocked out this week. But he said, I noticed that they're all looking to the left, and I was like, okay. And that was kind of a conscious decision for the first couple, and I decided to make that for all of them. And he said, and I said, you know, it's them looking back. And he brought up the word Sankofa, which means to go back and get, and you have to connect with your past in order to know where you're going in the future. And I say that to say that what happened to the Central Park 5 is relevant today, because like Yusef said, if it could happen to them, it could happen to any one of us. All of these laws, stop and frisk, racial profiling, all of that stuff sprouted. Trayvon Martin, Ramarley Graham, whose father is here with us today. All of that, you know, police brutality, all of that stemmed out of what happened to these young men. And that's why it's important that we help them fight for justice. And in doing so, you know, we can fix other things that are going wrong right now. And yeah, so I don't know if you're saying anything else. Did I miss anything important?
My man Craig just joined us, you know.
Craig Slay in the house.
You know, what I said earlier, I don't know if you did full circle what I said earlier, but it might be like reiterating everything as well. You know, new crowd, it's all good. So the reality of the matter is this, that for us to be in this space today, it's such an honor, because whoever gets memorialized, you know, while they're living, you know what I'm saying? This is crazy right here. And it's not just decent work. It's not just good work. This is excellent work.
Yeah.
This right here is
See the bomb, she put it down.
Yes, it did. So I mean, for you guys who haven't seen the film, I just have to say to you, this film represents not just 5 individuals who got railroaded by the system, but it represents you. And I'm going to tell you why it represents you. Because as was said, if it could happen to me, it could most certainly happen to you, it could happen to your children, it could happen to any one of us. And so what that means is that we have to become that much more aware of the struggle that we are in collectively. You know what I'm saying? When I met this young, well, brother here, my comrade now, you know what I'm saying? And you know, we found out about his story about his son being murdered up in the Bronx 1 year ago. 1 year ago, his son was murdered up in the Bronx, Ramarley Graham. You know, they said there was going to never be another Sean Bell. There was going to never be another Amadou Diallo. You know what I'm saying? But these stories keep on hitting us, and it always happens to black and brown children. You know what I'm saying? But I don't want to do. I'm not talking about it from a racial perspective, because even if we look at folks from Occupy Wall Street, we look at folks from what's the folks that was riding the bikes, the bike riders that they got this thing where they just do the bike rides and they don't care who's there and they'll stop traffic and all that stuff. Critical mass, you know. As soon as you get in the clutches of the people with the color blue on, you realize how it's about, like, we're in this collectively. You know what I'm saying? That's how serious this is. We're all in this collectively. You know. The thing that we are about to do, which is so important, I'm happy my man Craig walked in, you know, is that we are about to basically open the can of worms up. We're about to reveal all of the stuff that's happening. But we're going to reveal it in such a tactful way that I don't want to necessarily say it's a secret. You know, I'm gonna let you speak to it, you know what I'm saying? But what I want to say before I let Craig say something and everyone else speak is just a piece of poetry. I know a few folks have heard me say some poetry before. But this one that I want to say to you all is called The Revolution Will Not Be Televised. You know, a lot of times we don't get an opportunity to see the positive side of the darker enclaves of society. You know what I'm saying? They always show people after they threw a rock at us and then they want to take pictures because we look crazy trying to figure out who threw that rock, you know? So the revolution will not be televised. I can remember when that statement made me sad inside. Too young to be in it. Now I couldn't even see it. Why couldn't the revolution be televised? The last poets, Gil Scott Heron. As I grew up, I began to see. They left theirs, and I too wanted to leave a mark on history. A man in half, and I wanted to bask in that task that set men free. But a revolution, the revolution, is where I knew I had to be. The revolution will not be televised. They didn't want to display the victory of those quote-unquote lesser men. The revolution will not be televised. Smile, I know, because I am the revolution.
All right.
Oh, I don't want to do that one right now. I got another one. It's called I Stand Accused. It's a little long.